Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Porchlight TV. My name is Tracy Henney and I'm the CEO and founder of Porchlight and the course creator of the Ultimate Selling System and our brand new membership, Porchlight Social Academy. So welcome to the month of February. So what the heck do I mean by the month of February? Well, we have a fantastic speaker with us for the month, Amanda Teixeira from Wallet Win, where she is going to be sharing all kinds of tips and tricks on how you can save during these slow months in real estate, how to budget, how to plan. She's got all kinds of nuggets for us for the month of February. So hence, you're going to see me in the same outfit because I'm going to use this intro each week. But I am super excited to dive in. I cannot wait for you guys to hear her. And are you ready? All right, let's dive in.
All right, we covered debt is your frenemy. And now this next step that I want to dive into is creating a prioritized budget. So for our friends that have very predictable regular incomes, usually they know the amount of money coming in every month, and their budget, it will shift here and there based off of a holiday or a birthday, but more or less it'll look pretty similar. Now for us folks that have irregular incomes, and that's been me and my husband our entire marriage, we have to do something a little different. So all the things that we spend money on, we have to actually list them out via priority. So that means that our needs are going to be at the top. You know, we have to have a roof over our head, food to stay alive. We need gas in our tanks so we can drive around. So those things are going to be high priority. And then things like that are just wants, and they might be good, but they're objectively wants, you know, a new t-shirt, a cute pair of boots, going to the spa or the movies. These things would be lower on the priority list. And now I want you to look at the last 3 years of your income. And you likely have this information because you've done taxes. And what has been your absolute lowest month? Now that is considered your base income. You're usually probably never going to go lower than that. You're almost always going to be higher than that, but you've got your base income. So now you have your base income and you've got all of the things you spend money on listed and ranked according to priority. And now you're going to see how much this income, how far down the list does it get you? If it covers all of your basics, okay. That takes a lot of pressure off, knowing you're going to be able to survive and pay your bills. Anything above that, you can keep going down the list and funding. And then you might have months where you get to all of the things on your list, like the vacation savings. You've even gotten to fund that. But now anything extra is there for you to do things like save or pay off debt. And I want you to start getting into the mindset of, excuse me, of seeing that every dollar that comes your way every single month, whether it's a slow month or a abundant month, you are going to give it a job. So no dollars blowing in the breeze. They're as good as whisked out the window if we don't tell our money what to do. And so we teach not only creating this prioritized budget, but then get the zero-based budget. So let's say $8,000 comes in. Well, now $8,000 needs to be dispersed amongst all of the budget categories that you have available. And hey, maybe you've met all of the things that you want to do and you still have $2,000 left over. We're going to cover what to do with that in the next step, but you're going to be able to have that money that you're going to give a job to, and it's not just going to whisk out on extra dinners out or whatever expenses that aren't really going to move the needle for getting progress for you. So you're going to create this prioritized budget. Does that make sense? I was going to create a chart.
I was just going to say that I love that because I've done that before where, you know, my husband and I have sat down and we've listed all of our expenses, but we kind of just like did a brain dump and just put everything on paper, but I never thought to like prioritize it. I mean, I kind of prioritized it in the sense that I was like, oh yeah, okay, well, we have, you know, heat and hydro here, we have like, you know, car here. And I love that, prioritizing it almost like I kind of visualize it a little bit like a funnel. the things that we
Yeah.
need to pay attention to, the essentials. So that totally makes sense to me. And I love that, to be able to go, kind of listing it from what's important, what's essential, to, some of the frills and some of the stuff that we think are essential. But when we actually sit down and write them down, we realize, okay, I could, go without going to Starbucks 5 days a week. Maybe I'll do it once a week or whatever.
Yes.
So yeah,
Right.
I love that.
Right. And maybe you've never, the people that are watching, they've never actually sat down and they don't know what they spend money on. And so this could take a couple of months to really figure out what you spend money on. It might take a whole year before you've really locked in, because sometimes you only have a bill that hits once a year.
Right.
You've forgotten to work that in. But after a good year of budgeting every single month and doing it based on your priorities, you're going to be really confident that you know what you're going to be spending money on and about how much you're going to want to spend on it. I think a lot of times people sit down with that first budget and they're like, what do I put for groceries?
Yeah.
And if they really look back, they might realize that they're spending like, it's one of those categories that often just gets blown up in people's budgets, because when they don't have a plan, it's just really easy to keep going up. But if they focus in on meal planning and shopping the sales, they can tighten that category up.
The other thing too that I just wanted to say, I know as us as realtors, sometimes it drives me nuts when people say this. They're like, well, I can write it off. Like, it's a business expense. It's no big deal, but you still have to pay for it. The fact that you have, yes, you can write it off. You can use it as an expense, but you still have to pay for it. So, people can use that excuse a lot of times too with money and how they spend money in business. And I think this comes back to your point of getting creative. Instead of meeting your clients at Starbucks, why don't you go to their house, or I had another one in my head that just left me. But so my point being, I think people can hide behind their business by saying, well, it's a business expense, I can write it off. But really, I think you need to do the same thing for your business as well, too, to be able to prioritize those expenses. Do you really need to go there? Can you go to a park, or can you meet them at their house, or vice versa, or maybe down at the office, just to, help with reducing some of those expenses?
Yeah. Those are good ideas. I like that you pointed that out too, because you're right. I think it can be so easy to hide behind the I can write it off thing. But really, if you do the math there, so you spend $100 on something that was business but not necessary, that's going to reduce your taxes, but then it was still spending more than it's going to benefit you.
Right.
If you really do the math on that, how much is it going to reduce your taxes by? And then none of us want to get in on the math on that, but
yeah. I know
you paid more.
Yeah. Than what you should have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Than if it was avoided and you got creative and thought out of the box. So yeah, this prioritized budget, this is how we have lived the last several years. And then I think knowing that what that base income is going to be is just really important and to help you feel like you're in the know. And just by getting a budget alone, you're going to feel like you've got a raise, because now all of a sudden you know what your money is up to and where it's going, instead of just it's happening and there's just charges all over the place. And, you look at your bank statement and it's like Walmart 15, Walmart 30, Walmart 40, Target 40, and they're all transactions and you're like, what did I even buy? That feeling will go away when you're budgeting, because you're going to know what you bought.
And you could do this exact same exercise with your business expenses, because a lot of times too, we have things that are fixed that we have to pay for, but there's a lot of stuff that, do you really need that? So I think, like you say, having a prioritized budget for, everyday life, but also for business expenses is fantastic. Having a clear, concise look, because you need to know what is coming in and what is going out.
Yes.
In order to make money. It's as simple as that. You can't ignore it. You can't, like you say, let it float around. You have to know exactly what's coming in and exactly what's going out. And the only way to do that, like you say, is to do a prioritized budget. And I love that. What did you call it? Zero-based income, like taking
Zero-based budget. Yep.
Month or zero-based budget. I love that. So then you know exactly where you're at, or where you need to be.
Yeah. Also something there. So your budget, you could do it on paper. You could do it on an Excel sheet. Personally, our favorite one is called YNAB. You Need a Budget. It's an app. And it's on my phone. It's on my husband's phone. We have our personal budget in there, and we have our business budget in there. They're separate.
And then sorry, can you say what it is again? And I will, by the time we hear this recording, I will have put it up on the screen.
Yeah, it's called YNAB. I can show you guys the, let's see. I don't know if you can see that. That's the app picture. YNAB, You Need a Budget. I don't know if that showed up on there.
No, that's okay, but I'll put it up there. You can send it to me, and then by the time, like I say, by the time we're airing this, you guys have already seen it, so no problem.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, we recommend YNAB. We actually have a link that gets people a 34-day free trial, and then if they sign up to use it, they get another free month. I think that's walletwin.com/YNAB. Is where I think they can try it out before they commit. But we love it because it's so easy. It's on our phones. It syncs up with our bank accounts. And then it's on. So I always know, I never pull up to the grocery store. And if my husband just bought something on one side of town, I can look at the app and it's already up to date. Same with our business budget. So it makes budgeting easy. I think a lot of times people are afraid of budgeting because it feels like a straitjacket and this old rickety system where I got to be doing math on paper. That is not what I want for people.
Exactly. And that's just it. Like when we think of apps and we kind of relate that to fun stuff on our phone. We don't normally think like budgeting or, planning, to have things kind of at our fingertips. So I think that's fantastic. It's instead of, spending money on different apps or monthly subscriptions that maybe you don't need, like that's a fantastic resource to have. So, and again, that link will be in this recording by the time that we air this. So you guys will have an opportunity to try it out. So thank you. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Such great tips from Amanda. Don't you agree? So be sure to join us next week where she is going to be sharing more money-saving tips for us in our real estate business. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.